Is it called the 35-second burrito?
Oh my gosh, take human bites.
Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome back to our channel. After leaving the NBA, one can have two options: keep in better shape or let themselves go. All tactics have their advantages and disadvantages. After all, they're not supposed to compete in competitive events anymore. If they want to relax after years of caring for their bodies, that's fine. Why shouldn't they? From eating their way out of the league to becoming an armed robber, here are some NBA players that let themselves go. Number 5, Antoine Walker. Walker was never the athletic sort, and his professional ethic was often doubted during his playing days, even though he was one of the NBA's top young players. His decision-making was always a little slower, and it didn't always benefit his team. Walker's career, though, was not as bad as many people believe, as the Celtics' late 90s resurgence would not have happened without him. During his playing days, Walker was well paid for his efforts. This is where Walker's decision-making comes into play once more when he lost most of his money as a result of it. He tried to do his wonderful shimmy in the NBDL, unable to let go of his NBA dream, but he no longer looked like an NBA player.
The banks went really hard after the money, and I was the personal guarantor of them.
Number 4, Charles Barkley. Chuck was never very athletic, even when he used to play, so when he wanted to retire from the NBA, he suddenly let himself go. The round mound of rebound got his moniker from the way he looked and played. He seemed impossible to be able to leap so high and move so quickly on the court, but Barkley could dominate the court like few players his age. While being much smaller than most power forwards, he was still able to catch more rebounds and score more points than his opponents. His number was retired by both the Sixers and the Suns, which speaks volumes about his basketball abilities. He is now an expert who always gets his forecasts incorrect. His diet habits may also be problematic.
And there's a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken over there. Can't get to the captain to the.
Number 3, Shawn Kemp. When you have trouble with substance abuse after your playing days and your peak athleticism gives way to weight issues, chances are you won't look any different after you retire. Such was the case with Rain Guy, who was a high-flying, explosive power forward before the NBA lockout in 1998 when he completely lost it. Kemp was plump and fat when he returned to the Cavs. What's more interesting is that he really played well his first season there. Then, he jumped from team to team, which was not the fate that everyone expected for this enthusiastic player. All that remains are highlight reels of his Sonic stunks. Number 2, Vin Baker. The guy who the Sonics gained while selling away Kemp was another talented power forward and 4-time All-Star Vin Baker. Unfortunately, once he went to Seattle from Milwaukee, his career began going downhill, and Baker was no longer able to recapture the spark that helped him play so well in the Eastern Conference. Baker was broke when he ended his basketball career due to alcoholism and bad investments. He is now a barista at Starbucks in North Kingstown. Not exactly the post-basketball life of a former athlete who once earned more than $100 million during his basketball career, but at least he's sober and happy.
Started off just casually drinking like most people do.
Number 1, Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq was never the most athletic player on the roster, maybe apart from the magic in his early years, but once on the field, he was a true beast. And if he weighed about 300 pounds, he could dribble, throw, and dunk. It's hard to imagine that this man was once rumored to be interested in a career in MMA due to his love of the sport. He seems to be well suited for his desk work as an analyst alongside Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith these days. Dr. O'Neal note he has a degree in education, is still a big boy, even though his athleticism has faded.
And this is obvious. Get him, Kenny.
We're pretty sure we missed out a couple of other players that let themselves go, and if we did, do give us the names of these players so that we can make follow-up videos and mention those athletes in the future.